Welcome to our first ever Ami Athletics podcast. This is going to be the first of many. It's going to be short. It's not going to be very long. So we only have 25, 30 minutes. So it's not going to be a whole long 1 hour thing. It's going to be short where we're going to be talking about mostly things regarding Ami, our community, our, Torah, life, sports, more along those guidelines. It's not going to be, these prolonged talks. It's going to be more, we have Rabbi Zino over here and we have Zaki Nisanov over here. We're going to introduce them in a second. But yeah, so we're going to put this out maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, I believe. We're working on that. And yeah, it's going to be talks about, we're going to talk about it in a second, more about what Ami is, but we're going to be talking about everything Ami related, which is a lot more than we think. So I'm just going to pass for the Rabbi to introduce himself and then for Zaki to introduce himself, and we're going to get into it.
It's amazing to be here. Baruch Hashem. My name is Rabbi Tomer Zino. I play in Ami Athletics League, Z League, Baruch Hashem. I'm the rabbi in the Netz Minyan in Bet Gavriel on 108 Street, Baruch Hashem. And I'm in Kol also. But very involved in the community in many different facets. And Baruch Hashem, I'm very, very privileged to be here, to play, to teach, to grow with the guys, and to help share a Torah opinion and Torah matters, B'ezrat Hashem, in this podcast. Hopefully you'll be infused with the flavor of Torah. Zaki.
What's up, guys? My name is Zaki Nisanov. A lot of you guys know me as Chief Analyst of the Z League. Power Rankings Analyst. If you want advanced analytics, you come to me. And for all the young cats out there who forgot, the first Z League Finals MVP. So
this is like before the NBA. This is one that was called the ABA.
Before we had color photos. But it's been a while since then. A lot has changed. And
before you were called Zaki, you were called Katan then.
But basically, we're going to touch upon this today. Obviously, from a simple basketball league, a bunch of guys just being sick and tired of losing and just creating our own league, to something that is, I think, has become a movement and an opportunity for this community. And
honestly, that's a good way to put it.
It is. It's a movement. That's what it is. It's not just basketball, right? From Sichot to tomorrow night to...
We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
We're going to get through all these things, but there's obviously a vast amount of this has grown. So we're going to get the rankings out too, guys. Stay tuned for that as well.
Okay, so I just wanted to touch on where this how Ami Athletics really came about, what its vision was, and whatever. It's funny. I was driving to work one day, going to the train, and I see Richie added me to a random group chat. It wasn't called Ami Athletics. It was just called Basketball League. I think it was Richie in the group chat. Richie, David, Moshe Sdaya, and I think one other person. If I'm forgetting, not Elon Shamsi. No, he was added later. Whatever. So Richie called. So I called him up. I said, Richie, what is this about? So he's telling me, he's like, listen, I want to create a basketball league. He's like, but I don't want to just create a basketball league. He's like, I want to create a community league. So I'm like, what does that mean? We already have the Z League. So he's like, no. He's like, I want to blow this up. So now at the time, listen, I grew up with Richie. I played basketball with him in the Y when I was kids. I knew him. I didn't know how serious this was. People have dreams. People say a lot, myself mainly. But people say a lot and do little. I'm talking for myself. And Richie's like, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna create a league. We're gonna create for kids. We're gonna get a gym. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do JV league and varsity. We're gonna create a movement. We're gonna create an athletic center. So I still remember I was sitting there. It was right on Austin Street. I was late to the LIRR, and I'm sitting over there. I said, okay, I'm in. Whatever it is, I'm in. And at the time we were still looking for okay, who's gonna be the right pieces to join. So we got Elon Shamsiev, my brother Yehuda Nisanov, Elon Elishayev, Gabi Elishayev, Nati Elishayev, David Niktalov, Richie. I think that is everybody. And what happened was that it kind of exploded. And you guys, for the people who don't understand, and I was telling them to you guys right before this started, Richie is a workaholic. In the sense of in terms of the community member, the board members on the chat, he'll 12 o'clock at night, he'll just put out yo, this is what I've been working on. He has a passion He has a passion for, I mean, I could say a story. I don't know, maybe we'll edit this out. He really has a passion to help the community. And I'll give you a story. When me, him, and Elon Elon Elishav were sitting making the colors for the team. So Elon Shamsiyev sponsored one of the teams, okay, last season, right? The sponsor name, meaning Moshe Stipe, took Ultimate. So Elon put his name as Yad Michael. So Richie asked me, what's Yad Michael? So I told him it's a loan gemach that Elon Shamsiyev opened up. My Yad Michael was a boy, Michael Nisanov, who passed away from cancer, for the people who don't know. And so Elon, in his name, with other people, opened up a loan gemach, and for people who don't have money and whatever it is, you lend out the money. So Elon put his name on it. So I was sitting with Richie. Richie was like getting goosebumps. I say I'm starting to tear up. That like it was such a beautiful thing. So he does the toy drive for the kids every year, and this is before anything. So he really was dedicated to making something for the community. So we got together, and then we were thinking about, all right, like what's going to be the boundary? How far are we going to take this? So first we were discussing names. So I'm actually going to take the credit for this. I actually thought of the name Ami Athletics. Ami means nation, spelled with an ayin. Ami means nation. And this was the idea was that we're going to make something for us, something that's going to build us, something that's going to bring us together. And I'll just say one more thing, that and the beauty of infusing sports into the community as a cornerstone, not just as like an afterthought or something extracurricular, but as a cornerstone where we kind of put sports now. Many communities have this already, but the benefits of putting sports on a pedestal a little bit is funny. I was just talking to Richie, and he was saying that he had a conversation with Rabbi Yeshua. And Rabbi Yeshua was telling him how important, how crazy it is. I mean, it's going to lead into the Sichot event, but Rabbi Yeshua is coming to the event. So he was saying how we're getting all these different rabbis from, everyone has their, all different people, all different rabbis from different backgrounds, all to sit under one roof. Now, Rabbi Yeshua was telling Richie, he's like, the beauty of this is that everyone's united through sports. Right? There's no politics in sports. Like it's like the Olympics, right? The Olympics, all these countries, Russia, Iran, America, everybody comes together. They hate it outside of the dome, outside of the arena. Everyone hates each other. But when it comes for sports, you slap sports on the thing. Suddenly, everyone's together. Everyone's under one roof. Nobody wants to kill each other. You know what I'm saying? So the beauty of bringing, one of the steps, not the step, but one of the steps of bringing the community together on a broader level is togetherness of bringing people who wouldn't normally be sitting in a room together through the guise of sports. So that's a little bit of the background. I mean, we can go.
I mean, that's very different than a traditional sports league, which is obviously the focus is sports. This is sports in order to connect, to bring. It's not just, a lot of people say, oh, it's just sports. It's not a big deal. What's the connection? What's the purpose? Well, if we use that to, like we're having the Sichot event tomorrow night, we're having different things that he did that we've done as a league, as a community, and I think that the goal becomes so much greater and the purpose becomes so much greater when we play sports, because ultimately we're doing it for the betterment of the community and for the religious elevation of the community as a whole, which I think is the most important thing.
Basketball is just a stepping stone. It's just a stepping stone.
It's a means to an end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's more or less the idea of like, we're not looking at Ami Athletics basketball, dribbling a ball as the end. Like we look at it as kind of like the honey of like that kind of brings the guys in. And now there are guys that, spell Bukharian with a B-U-K-H and with a Bukharian with a B-U-C-H and don't know how to spell Bukharian. And now they're all playing under one roof and they're all on the same team and they're talking to one another and they're creating connections. And the guy who wasn't wearing a kippah and the guy who was wearing a kippah are now sitting at a Shabbos table together because they're teammates. So it's creating all these different type of connections. And I'm saying now the rabbi's a captain and you're gonna before you saw it, but now as a captain you're gonna see it much more, where you have the ability to create. You're gonna see connections being made because you're sitting at the head of the table. Right. And you have a very powerful role. And one of the criteria, I mean, this is in choosing the captains, is that it's someone who can be a role model. I'm dead serious, by the way. This is actually one of the big criteria. Whoever's a captain, this is a big compliment to you. That one of the criteria is that someone that could be a role model because you're in a role model position.
Right.
So I just wanted to see your take on this because you are a rabbi in the community. You're basically boots on the ground. Me and Zaki are not boots on the ground. In terms of being a rabbi for Beit Ariel, being involved with Chazak, being involved with kids, being in Forest Hills, I wanted to know what your take is on Ami Athletics in terms of what it could do for Kirov and why it could be so effective.
This is, first of all, it's a little surreal that we're here. It's amazing that we got to this point, and Ami has such a siyata d'shmaya that we're able to grow in so many different ways. But yeah, basketball is amazing. And basketball in general teaches you a lot. For the walks of life. It's a lot of life lessons you learn, definitely. So just for that itself is very good. Sports is healthy for a person, obviously. And then you learn a lot of, good character traits. You have tests you have to overcome. You have a bad call. You have, giving yourself up for the sake of your teammate. You have selfishness and humility. But besides for that, the just basketball and the bonding, I see in the community all the time that there's so many people who are just, coming in and going out. That there's a very big, they explains the difference between the kihila and, a congregation and just having a shtibel. A shtibel is a place where you come, you daven, you get your stuff, you do what you got to do, and you're out, and you don't feel obligated to anybody, you don't feel connected to anybody, you're here today, you're here there tomorrow, it's like nothing holding you down. And in a way, for some people, that's very comfortable, but in a way, you're missing a lot of things. As opposed to if you're part of a kihila, you're part of a congregation. This is my people. This is my place. This is who I am. This is who I identify as. I grow from the guy next to me. The guy next to me grows from me. And in this place, if you ever need something, I'm here for you. I'm here to help. I have someone to rely on. Someone's missing one day. Someone calls. Hey, where's so and so? Where did he go? Why didn't he come today? So how you have a Rabbi, you have someone you're connected to. As opposed to if you're just like a freelancer, you could play at the park as a freelancer. You have a different team every time, and you just sort of like, on your own lone wolf, or you could go be part of a league. You have the same team, you're staying with the same people. You have a coach, you have a captain, you have people, you build relationships. So there's a lot of people who are just in and out. There's a lot of people in our community who are looking for something bigger, looking for something higher, and they come to shul, they go out, they go to work, they come home. It's just the run-of-the-mill kind of stuff. Nothing in there necessarily would have sparked them up and would have woke them up and would have, made them, you're part of this community and you're here for a reason and there's something we're building,
And what do you think in Ami Athletics gives that spark?
So there's so many levels as the fact that you have a team, the fact that you have a captain, the fact that you have, a board, people who are sitting there and thinking of ways to, elevate the community and to get our guys together for good things. It's just, in a way, we have to say thank you that if we just come play basketball and there's an organized league, that's amazing. That's one. You add another layer to the cake that, we do events outside and we bond, we had a barbecue all the time and we all got together, Lag Ba'omer, and, we have a slichot event and we had a shear the other day. We had a 3-point contest and a shear. Everybody came for the shear. We daven together, all that stuff. That's just another layer of the cake, They say by Yoshvo, Yeshua has a big zechut in our community that a lot of people don't go to shul. At least they go to Yeshua, And through the Yeshua, they always tell us when we give speeches at Yeshua, like, this is the opportunity, And there's a guy sitting in the crowd that wouldn't learn otherwise, and this is he has exposure right now, and that's another layer that you're getting a lot of exposure to a lot of people who you wouldn't be able to get into the room, into this under the same roof, but because of the basketball, so. It's a calling card.
Brings them to start talking.
Right.
It opens up the conversation.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Every single Friday afternoon, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, short and sweet,
to the point.
One second. For anybody who doesn't know what he's talking about, we have a basketball in the league chat. We have a WhatsApp chat for the players. So every week, Rabbi Zino, or at this point every day for the slichot, right? So every day he puts out a little voice note for all the players. I think almost every single players in that group chat. and they listen to it, and a lot of people get a lot of chizuk from it. So that's what Zaki's referring to.
So if we wouldn't have this league, they probably wouldn't get the voice note. They probably wouldn't hear the voice note. You know,
so
it's
funny. I was
more
sitting
than
on
basketball. That's the beauty of it.
You know how they do those video calls? So I was sitting on a video call one time with a bunch of the guys, and they're like, "Listen, once we're all over here, it's to Yaakov Shalamov, by the way, and Avi Rubinov. They're like, listen, once we're all here already, it was like 7 or 8 guys on the call. They're like, Yaakov Shalamov whipped out a sefer. I forgot which sefer actually.
I think it was like a Chafetz Chaim, like the daily 5-minute companion thing.
It was a daily. I think it was
Shmir Sanayim. I think it was Shmir Sanayim.
I remember
He
that.
whipped it out, and he's like, once we're all here already, let's start learning. Everyone muted himself, and he went on a 5-minute Devar Torah thing.
Amazing.
And that's something that without this basketball league, without Ami Athletics, like that's the goal.
Right.
Get people connected and get people growing. And now, I mean, there's a lot of information I know that are in the works. From behind the scenes that I don't know. I think Richie will kill me if I say, but there's a lot of growth happening. There's a lot of expansion happening. I mean, at this point we're talking about it, but in terms of, if you see, whoever saw the videos of the little kids playing, 4-year-old, 5-year-old kids, we have the junior varsity league, we have the varsity league, we had, I think 6-year-olds playing.
Wow.
4 to 6.
4 to 6.
Yeah.
So we had 2 different leagues, JV, junior varsity and varsity. We had the clinics for the 4 to 6-year-olds coming to play every week. We had the men's league. We had, what else did we have? I mean, then we had all the extracurricular stuff. The goal is also, by the way, what was in talks before was to make a soccer league, to make a football league, but it kind of got stalled. But that is in the vision also.
It's unbelievable.
It's funny because I was telling Richie, like as a kid growing up, like I used to play in the Y. Okay, so I used to play with non-Jewish kids, all different types of whatever. So I said, I'm like, imagine as a kid, 12 years old, 13 years old, playing in a Bukharian league, basketball league, a competitive one with all the trophies and all the refs and all the this, and it's all your guys. Like how amazing would that be? Like this is like a childhood dream of mine. Right. And you see the kids come and it makes a difference. And it's funny, before on the way here, I was reading, according to the CDC, statistically speaking, a kid who's connected to sports from a younger age are 40%, you can fact check me, but I was reading it on the way here, 40% less likely to go on antidepressants. It has longer lasting effects if a kid is playing from, I think, the age of 8 years old once a week. Wow. It has longer lasting effects. I mean, this is like, it kind of breaks it down to physical health benefits, mental health benefits, are less likely, 40% less likely to turn to drugs, are going to feel more socially acceptable if they play sports. It works on their social skills. It's better. It helps develop their brains to combat anxiety because it releases endorphins. Wow. It helps battle depression because they feel a part of a team. There's a lot of things that go into getting kids at a younger age to stay connected to sports. Right. And because they are good at sports at a younger age, they stay connected to sports later on. Meaning we all know people that played sports when they were 9 years old. But then, I mean, me and Zaki know this firsthand. I don't know if you experienced the same experience as us, but because we didn't have that fluid access to a gym, growing up in a Bukharian community, we didn't have, all these fancy yeshivas with gyms that we can just go to. Right. So we didn't have access to that. So the guys, unless you were really good or really dedicated to playing basketball on your porch and getting better, so that this way when you go to school, you're the better ones and now you find value in that, you kind of let go of it at 10 years old, 11 years old, 12, 13, and then you kind of find your extracurricular. Hopefully you find good outlets, but not everybody finds good outlets, Right. So I happen to have been a person who stayed connected, but I know that for every one person who was good at sports and stayed connected, there was a lot of people that didn't stay connected, no?
Right, 100%.
100%. People drop out of it, people move on, but you're right, 100%. This is what... It's super important. I didn't know that. The psychological effects.
It's more, by the way. I mean, I don't know how we can do this, but if we can pull up the CDC thing, I could send it to you guys. You can pull it up over here. You can scroll through it. It's actually crazy. It goes through, it says there's economic pluses. It goes through everything, lifelong, as a person, as a yid, as your neshama, whatever it is, it goes into all the different benefits. Definitely. And I'm saying so far to date, you see how many different events there was. There was the toy drive for Ami Athletics, and this is, this is kind of like Richie took this on. The board / Richie took this on. It's like, listen, we're getting all this, opportunities. Like, okay, because now we're in a position that we're getting, we're getting the sponsorships, and we're going to give a shout out to all the sponsorships because including Kaykov Media. Thank you, Kaykov Media, for sponsoring. But everyone who sponsored, in the beginning when we were discussing sponsorships, we're like, listen, people are going to want to do it because it's of exposure, right? We're going to get us to a place where we're going to get Ami to a place where we're getting the exposure. But at this point, the people are kind of throwing money. The sponsorships are kind of giving money to Richie, throwing money at Richie. Is like, listen, I believe in what you're doing. Like, I believe in the athletic center. I believe that, early intervention in sports, targeting the kids, bringing them in, bringing them all under one roof, bringing the right role models, and then setting an example for Ami of like, okay, now that we have everyone, all right, what are we doing? We're doing a slichot event. What else are we doing? We're doing a toy drive. What else are we doing? We're doing a Lag BaOmer barbecue. A shoe drive, sorry. Richie does a toy drive. We're doing a shoe drive. We're doing a shear before the 3-point contest. We're doing, you know what I'm saying? And this is something it's bigger than basketball.
Right.
Yeah, so, I think tomorrow night's, I don't know when this is going to be aired, but tomorrow night's Sichot is going to be, I think, 400 people are expected to show up, right? That's a number or more?
We got 400 chairs.
And then you have 20 rabbis from the whole community showing up. You have like a star-studded chazan list. I think that just the chazanim would be enough for everybody to run there, and then they have all the rabbis with the unity and putting it in the community. And then just everybody getting together. That's unbelievable. Growing together.
I have no idea how Richie pulled this off, but
before we get into
it's wild
into the power ranking soon, I just wanted to point out the small idea that I wanted to share. It's the way I try to approach things. I don't say divrei Torah that I don't really feel in my kishkas, and I don't feel it in my bones. They say whatever comes from your heart will go into the heart. And I like taking things very practically. So, and now as captain, like you said, the draft thing got happened. And
in Rabbi's house, by the way, at 1 o'clock in the morning. Sorry to the neighbors.
Yes.
Sorry to the neighbors.
And we had slichot the next morning. But the point is that we got that over with, and I thought my anxiety would calm down already. And we can say your piece now, or else slow it in a way forever hold your peace, because this is going to be locked in for the whole season, and that reminds me in just not just that, you have to see it as a multi-layer lesson for all of our lives, like how Shabbat is like that. The Gemara says whoever prepares for Shabbat will have what to eat on Shabbat. Imagine you put your stuff in your chimadan, your luggage, and you go on a trip. You have only what you have in your luggage. You prepare what you have, and that's it. So the same thing with Shabbat. You have to prepare for Shabbat, and Shabbat is really 1/60th Olam Haba, the world to come. So whatever you prepare in this life, and however spiritually ready you are to meet your Creator and to connect to your Creator, that's what you'll enjoy, the spiritual bliss in Olam Haba. So just like how we're so meticulous to nitpick and be analytical about our team and every piece, does it fit? Like in a watch, like all the cogs have to be lined up together. So the same thing, we should learn to take note and take calculation of our soul, of our daily lives, of our our preparation for Shabbat. Is it proper? Is there Shabbat proper? And just 1 minute on this week's parasha, right? It says in Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem lifnei Hashem Elokechem. You're all standing here before Hashem. Hayom, the Zohar says, the Rosh Hashanah. And what does the pasuk say afterwards? Tapechem, nafshechem, gerecha, roshechem, shiftechem, ziknechem. You're the heads of leaders, the heads of tribes, your elders, your wives, your children. Meaning, in all facets of your life, you could also analyze your Z League team, my wife. Is she doing what she's supposed to be doing? Myself? Am I doing what am I supposed to be doing during my day? My children, am I dealing with them properly? Am my rabbi, what's my relationship with my rabbi? Do I have a rabbi? My relationship with my shul, my community, am I involved in my community? You could break down every single part like as if your life is like a Z League team, and see, does everything or line up? Because soon Rosh Hashanah is coming. It's the day, Hayom, the day. And once you say your piece and you come and do teshuvah and you come before your Creator, it gets locked in, and that's going to be your whole year. Don't cry in the middle of January, February. Oh, woe is me. Why is this happening to me? You had the chance, you had the ability. Rosh Hashanah, and that's the trade deadline. So hopefully we'll trade up with Hashem, and He'll give us a good team, a good decree, and a good year. B'ezrat Hashem.
Amen.
It's funny if people were as self-introspective as they were for their team, and worried about if the chemistry and how they'll get along with their teammates. If they took that amount of worry and put it into their life,
Mashiach's already here.
Would be tzaddikim.
Right.
Whose play style does well with who, and whose chemistry. If Shalom Bayis, if couples came in with 1% of the amount of worry of how much we put in, of how does this guy's play style get along with this guy's play style, we would have a lot more less Shalom Bayis issues.
I don't think I slept the night of the draft. I don't think so.
I was sick, by the way, the night of the draft.
Well, you already have your team, so you don't count.
Because I'm the champion.
Ariel, the Z League champ for this year.
For now.
Coach of the year, coach of the Z League.
Before Ami, that's the ABA. Bill Russell, 14 rings. We don't count that. Now the NBA started. I'm the first ever Ami athletic champion.
Okay.
And with that, we're gonna go into the way too early power rankings, which probably a lot of people initially started watching this for.
They don't mean everything, but they mean something.
The amount of messages I've been getting. I was on a flight to San Diego for Mishpato's wedding. Mazal Tov.
Wow, Mazal Tov.
Big Mazal Tov to Mishpatov, the Z League GOAT.
The Z League GOAT. How many championships does he have? 5?
Six championships.
Tom Brady of the Z League.
And it's crazy, by the way. Fun fact about Mishpatov in the captains era. We're going to just talk about the captains era for a second. There's 6. This is the 7th season. Okay, so 6 seasons. So Mishpatov won the first championship. Made it to, lost the second, won the third, lost the fourth, won the fifth.
Wow.
Okay.
One.
So he's been in the finals every year.
Oh, no, not every year.
Lost.
He won with blue.
Yeah, he made
the first season. Second season, he lost. Third season, he won with that stacked blue team. Then lost in the finals. Then he won with white.
Right.
So he, whatever. Kanai Nahara. Yeah.
Baruch Hashem. So anyways, a lot of you guys have been messaging me about the rankings. And I just want to say this, guys. Last year's way too early power rankings, I was off 3 teams I was off by. So, like I said,
green.
One of them was green. I will admit to that.
Put us in 8th place.
I put green at 8th, but I will say this. Had green lost their last game, they would have been 8th seed. Now, yes, there were injuries, so I will count that as one of the teams I was off with. I had gray at number 4. I love you, Rabbi, but that was a wild miss.
Who was your sponsor?
Damikel.
That
was a wild miss. And then also I had black. Jason's team at 6. That was also why they ended up being the best team.
Yeah, that was off, bro. They took a commanding first.
Yeah, they were the best team, and you guys destroyed them in the playoffs. I don't know what happened. I still don't know what happened. They don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. Nobody knows what happened. But the bottom line is it happened.
I mean, I have my own feelings on what happened. Is that their team relies on a high-powered offense, and my team relies on defense.
And defense wins in championships.
I mean, I'll tell you more than that. They have a good defense also, but going into the championship, there was a lot of nerves on both sides. Now, offensively, nerves are going to affect you more than defensively. Yes. That's my own take on this. Now, 100%. I do think watching the game over right after we won, that the nerves kind of took over in that game for them offensively, and we just showed up defensively, meaning they were averaging 77 points a game, they scored 51. We were averaging 64 or 65, we scored 71. So we kind of...
Well, you also built on your good defense.
Yeah.
Good defense leads to good offense.
Fast breaks.
But more than that, by the way, more than that, and this line was floated around, and I'm going to say this a lot, chemistry is the best talent.
1,000%.
Teams with good chemistry, and that was that was Jason Ritchie's team. Their team was a team that thrived on chemistry. I'm saying, beside for just having Jason, their team was a team that thrived on chemistry, and you saw firsthand what chemistry can do. When everyone's clicking, when everyone knows their role, when everyone swallows their pride and whatnot, and they took a commanding first lead, and they were the favorite in the finals.
I 100% agree. That's actually what I wanted to say. The 3 teams that I was off on, gray, green, and black, the reason why I was off is because I think they had amazing chemistry or lack thereof in terms of gray. Gray you guys had a great team last year.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
On paper.
On paper, you guys had an amazing team. I think teams are scared to play. I think you guys also missed a couple of games. A couple of guys didn't show up during key games.
Right.
But you guys had a crazy team. I think the chemistry didn't get solved. It wasn't figured out. It wasn't there. And like Ari said, chemistry is the best talent. Green chemistry. You guys were, I think, you and Black were up there with the best chemistries. And I think that ultimately that's why you guys were top teams, because talent does not win you in the Z League. As everyone knows, talent. So all you guys out there,
I mean, talent doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt, but it doesn't win you. It does not win you. It's not going to get you the chip. And to all you guys
this guy's
out there,
talking from experience with 3 first-round picks last season.
Yeah, don't focus on those guys with those high points per game and all the stats.
Yeah,
that's
to all the young cats, really, talent does not win. It's not about how many points you get. It's about what you do for your team. Are you going to jump for a loose ball? Are you going to pass the ball when they're playing a zone? You guys got to play with chemistry.
No, but
chemistry
it's even more than that.
Is the most important thing in the game.
It's even more than that. It's when your teammate messes up. How are you reacting?
Exactly.
Are you pointing a finger? Meaning, it's funny because I remember Rabbi when you were on my team 2 seasons ago, and there was one of our teammates who was getting frustrated, and I said, remember, I said Eitan Natanov was the best one on our team.
Right.
So I told this guy, I said, if you mess up, Eitan's running to get your turnover.
Right.
He's not pointing a finger at you.
Right.
He's running. He's not worried about who's scoring more, who took the shot, whose fault it is. He wants to win. He's running, even though you threw the ball like a monkey
against the wall.
Against the wall. He's gonna run and fix your mistake and not look at you. Right. Just go, keep going. Let's win this game. But let's get into the power rankings. We don't have much time.
So basically the rankings. We're gonna start at number 13. All right. I'm not gonna grade my team. Are you gonna grade my team? I don't want to get heat for this, guys. And just guys, listen. Don't take this sensitively. Don't get offended.
No offense.
I gotta put someone at 14. I gotta put someone at 1. All right, last year, guys came up to me, you're going to put me at 10, start trash talking me, and it happens to be they lost every time they did that. But the bottom line is, don't talk big. I have nothing personal against any of you. I love you all right, guys? I have to put someone at the bottom, I have to put someone on top, and I have to put someone at, throughout the list as well. So, again, this is the way too early rankings. I haven't seen a couple of players play, but I've heard, talk around the league and done some research. So, number 13, again, number 14, we're going to put me in the middle somewhere, wherever I belong, and then we're going to adjust accordingly. So number 13, we're going to go with light green, which is the new captain, the new team this year, Matayev's team. Their sponsor is Central Buyers. I'm going to have them at 13. I mean, listen, a lot of unknowns with that team. There's a lot of unknowns. I really don't know where they're going to be. The chemistry is going to be figured out. So I'm having them right now at number 13. Number 12, we're going to go with Yehuda's team. Now, I know, Ari, you're not going to like this pick. He's your brother.
I don't know. No, not even good. I think okay. Okay. Okay.
Baffled.
Okay.
Everyone is entitled to
I don't
their
agree,
opinion.
but it's not my power rankings.
These are advanced analytics. So to all you people who think you know what you're talking about, take a pen and paper, write it down on your kitchen table, and throw it out.
This is advanced analytics is Zaki eating wings while watching the games on his phone.
The best
Shout out
algorithm.
Kaykov Media for the great quality, so Zaki can provide the analytics.
All right, we got number 12. We got the teal team, another new color, Yehuda Nisanov. Sponsored by Levi Baruch Law. Now, the problem I have with Yehuda's team, they are a very good team. They are. I think they're going to be very competitive. I think they will win games. My only issue is, in terms of the ball movement on that team, I don't see a point guard. I would like to see how they move the ball. They have a lot of young kids on that team.
I think this kid Daniel Mordechai is being slept on, but that's just my
I think
opinion.
he's a great
and
talent.
I think they're going to have a lot of.
He's a great
They're going to have a
talent.
lot of passion with Igal Nisanov. That's my
I think they're
opinion.
going to play very hard. I just want to see how they gel and how the chemistry works in the ball movement. I'm a little bit worried about that. Number 11, we're going to go with red. Alex Kirov, Team Auto Body. I mean, this guy's record in the past 2 years has probably been, I think, 3-24.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
he has a tough time.
He's had a bad year. He's had bad teams.
Great talent, though.
Yes, but I think this year his team is pretty good. He has a solid squad.
He has a very all-around team.
He has a good team.
He has the Juraj, Chafisov down low. He has
So let's
Alex.
see how this drive kid plays out. I don't know how he's going to be. He's new. We don't know. I mean, during pickup ball, he was dominating, but during the Z League, the defense is a much better pace, much higher level. You can't just have these open looks anymore. It's much different.
Nerves.
And the nerves as well.
The nerves is a big one. Yeah, next.
Number 9, we got maroon. Number 10. I skipped number 10. We got navy blue, which is Gabby. Number 10, Gabby Elishayev.
Disagree with.
Now, in terms of chemistry, they have literally his entire family's on that team.
Four brothers.
on one team.
on the same team.
Will it work? Brothers like to fight a lot, so let's see how
Shout
that
out to the
works
sponsor,
out.
JP Enterprise.
He took a big gamble with
and
that
for
pick
red,
he took.
Team Auto Body. For
Team
Alex
Auto,
Kirov.
Alex. So we got JP Enterprise sponsor for Navy Blue.
Navy Blue.
I mean, listen,
I think this kid Jacob Arambayev can play. The only question is if he's going to pass the ball, but I think the chemistry is going to be there, especially when you have 4 brothers on the team.
So my concern is Jacob Arambayev. He's a bowler. He looked like he was amazing.
Yeah.
We've seen way too many guys dominate in Park Drive East and come to the league and just not win games. We've seen it way too many times. And that is why I had them
No,
that
but
low.
even in the scrimmage, he played well, but we're going to have to see how... I mean, Solomon Kirov, I think, is a great addition over there. Shout out Solomon Kirov, my favorite.
Let's see how he fits
has
in.
to translate.
It has to translate. Again, you're playing with 4 brothers. The rest of
I
the team has to
personally
gel
would put
as well.
them higher, but like I said again, not my power rankings. Next.
Number 9, we got Maroon, Moshe Staib, sponsored by the GOATs, Kaykov Media. I mean, if we're talking about the best captain in terms of trading and wheeling and
Best
dealing,
GM.
and
The best GM.
If there was
She's
a
the
GM list,
businessman.
I'd have him at number 1. All right, I'd have him at number 1. In terms of the team, I lost track of how many trades he made. I think he screwed over a lot of people. But what ended up coming out from them? I mean, his team is solid.
He made a good trade.
He had that blockbuster deal.
Yeah.
He had a lot of blockbusters.
Tier
deals.
1. He traded his Tier 1 away.
He
Shook up the
traded,
league.
Yeah, he traded Eitan Atanov away. He traded up to get Eitan, then traded him again. A little confused what's going on with him. I think he just likes the trading more than the winning.
We're going to have to see how Ozzy and Daniel Chaim's play style go with Artie's and Nikki Konchorov's. That's, I think, going to be the big question for that team.
100%. The ball movement, Ozzy's a great bowler, a great scorer. Can he distribute? Because he has Daniel Chaim and he has Artie on his team. So let's see what happens there. Number 8, we're going to go with Gray, Rabbi Zino. I love you. I wish I could put you higher, but I have you at 8. Listen, the probably the number 1 player that everyone wanted, it was Jay Shao.
Yeah.
Because he has good vision. He knows how to move the ball. The question is he a Tier 1? That's the question.
Right.
That's the question I have over here. If you had Jay Shao with the Tier 1, I'd put you a top 3 team. Jay Shao knows how to move the ball. He's an amazing player, and he has a chip under his shoulder. So I have you at number 8.
He was put through Mishpatov's system.
Well, that is correct, but he is a bowler as well.
Yeah.
So you
That's
gotta
what I'm saying. So
definitely.
that's a compliment. He was put through. You have a very good, solid, all-around team.
Sponsored by IntelliRx. Now, we got number 7, the goal team, which is Mishail's team. In terms of Mishail's team, he was the one who made the big blockbuster trade and got Eitan Atanov. He has this kid, what's his name?
David
Niktalo. So we don't know where he
Junior.
is. We don't know what
What he
a lot
is,
of
where he
confusion
is,
this
what
year.
he is.
Or Wembenyama for
Is he a
anyone.
Wemby? Is he a Durant? Is he a lower? Is he a Rudy Gay? If you remember him back then, we don't know what he is. It's kind of we saw him play. He said he was a Tier 1. He played like a Tier 2. So I don't know where he's holding. I'm going to put him at number 7. Now number 6, gold is sponsored by RB Della Lighting. Number 6, which is white, Avi Rubino's team. Luxury Time NYC is the sponsor. So we got Avi Rubinov. He's got Leo Aminov making a comeback to now Ami Athletics. Eli Yakubov, Yakov Chaimov. Very, very talented team. Very, 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 very talented team.
I don't necessarily agree with this one. I think they're very talented, but I think chemistry is going to be their number 1 thing. I personally wouldn't have put them this high. They're a great, talented team, but talent doesn't win championships.
So in terms of talent, the only reason why they're this high is talent. I think they're a top 4 team in terms of talent. Chemistry,
They have a lot of talent. They have a lot of talent.
For those who don't know, Jonathan Aronov is not a Tier 5 or 6. He's a Tier 4/Tier 3. He's I think going to be the biggest steal of the draft, or one of the biggest steals of the draft. I saw him play. He knows how to play, and he'll just do anything. He'll do the dirty work.
He's a hustler.
He'll box out. He hustles. I think that
I don't know. To me, right now, it looks like they have a lot of shot first players. I think it's gonna have to. We're gonna have to.
So the
something's
chemistry
gotta
is
give.
the issue. The chemistry might be the issue. If they can figure that out, it's going to be big. If not, they're...
Zaki, I'll tell you a secret. If any team can figure out the chemistry, they go from the 14th spot to the first spot.
Right.
No. But you have to have talent as well. I think they have a very talented team. We'll see what happens.
Luxury Time NYC is the sponsor.
Number 5, we're going to go with purple. Hanan Arambayev. Well, I don't even know where to start.
I knew this was coming.
I mean, listen. I get a phone call from Coach Avi. What are you doing? Why aren't you picking me up?
You also got that phone call?
I mean, I think he called everyone in the league. I mean, listen. I love Coach Avi.
He just wants to know why he didn't go first pick.
Coach Avi, listen. I got to put some respect on his name. The guy's 36 years old, or so he claims.
He's called Coach Avi. He taught us all how to basketball.
He was third in the league in points. Now, if you want to count cherry
By the way,
as
just
points,
a compliment to him. He was the second pick, and we're talking about him more than their first pick.
exactly.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's because the heart and soul of this team is Coach Avi.
All right.
Live or die.
He's a spokesman.
This is what, and then you have Shlomi Elishayev on this team. You have Nathan Moore. You have Ariel Pinchasov. I mean, if this was a comedy show, they'd be number one.
To me, this is the most. I said this right after the draft. This is going to be the most entertaining team to watch.
100%.
Win or lose.
Can they figure it out? Yes or no? Listen, I think they can figure it out. The question is, how much can they figure it out? If they go 0-2, what's going to happen? That's my question. If they go 0-2,
That's a good question.
I want to know what happens to that team. So we got them at number. Obviously, they have Israelov, so that's why they're that high. Number 4, we're gonna go with yellow, Eliran's team. Now again, I had Eliran last year at number 4.
Purple, shout out to Leori Diamonds, and yellow, shout out to Invictus Pharmacy.
Invictus
for the sponsor. Yeah.
So we got yellow. Now I had Eliran last year at number 4 with the stack team. This year, his team is better, and he also has that familiarity with Yosef Azilo.
He has a Robin.
They have the
who's
1A,
gonna be the
1B.
Robin?
But you know what? They're very close friends. They played together. I think that they'll have that relationship where one could be the 1B, depending on the game, depending on who's hot.
Right.
They have that respect. So I think that they could figure it out. Question is, the other players. Listen, this Moshe Samechov kid is a bowler.
Yeah.
I think Eliran just tried shopping him to every team. I wanted him, but I didn't need a big man. He's a bowler. So I think they're going to be scary with him. We're going to go number 3. I'm going to put black. Jason. Now, I know this is a little surprise to a lot of you guys. I think that last year, Jason's team, obviously Jason's the best bowler in the league. You can't really stop him. The question is, last year, teams tried double teaming him. They did. They double teamed him, and he was able to find the open man. They played with intense chemistry. They were very, very good with ball movement. Can they repeat that? I don't know some of these new players. They got this kid, Baruchov.
This kid, Johnny Baruchov, is supposed to be good. Abe Kanchorov.
They say he's supposed to be good. I have to see them play. They were tier 6. I heard they're tier 3, 4. So that will really depend where they sit.
If you think about it,
they're going to come out swinging.
If you think about it, last year, the team he had, and then now these bigger players or these higher tiered players, it looks like Jason's set up for.
So that's my only concern. I'm not sure. Listen, Mike Elishayev last year was a bowler.
All right.
And how they got Rob Kaptiev.
No, but I'm saying he has bigger players now.
So I don't know if he has bigger players because Uri Kaptiev is shorter. He had Elon Elishayev and Shlomi Elishayev, 2 great. They were able to play a 3-2 zone because those 2 guys were twin towers. This Kanchorov guy, they're saying he's tall and big, but who's the other guy? Yuri Kaptiev. I mean, he's a big downgrade over Shlomi. He's a good player.
He has Robin, right?
He has Rob, but he's going to play up top. So listen, I have them at 3. Ari, you see them being a number 1?
Yeah. If they
figure it out.
If they figure it out.
That's the if. If they figure it out. If they figure it out, they can be number 1 very, very easily. Number 2, obviously.
I would have put them number 2. I mean, just because you could even put them number 1, but just by definition, you have to put green at number 1. But I would have put them, no, because I'm saying just add a technicality, not necessarily.
No, it was a big
else.
debate if to have them at number 2 or number 3.
I would have put them at number 2 personally.
Ultimately, I had them at 3 because obviously number 2 we'll talk about now. But first of all, big shout out to Richie Rich, the guy behind this entire thing, sponsor of the black team. Number 2, we're going to go with light blue, which is Elon Shamsiev's team, lifetime funding. They have Nate Yochananov, the second best player in the league, Mike Kandukhorov, Josh Yon. They have shooters. Eli Elishayev was a sleeper in round 5. I don't know how he fell that low.
I actually personally think a lot of people are sleeping on Josh Yonatan. I think he had 2 bad seasons in a row. On a team where he was like outplayed almost by Gabby. On black team, and then last season he was on a team that they didn't play so well. So I think 2 bad seasons in a row, but he's actually a very, very good player,
he's
IQ
a catch
player.
and shoot player, so he needs to have that open shot.
I think he's going to have a breakout season. You can mark this.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think Yochananov will be double teamed a lot. Boom, quick dish to Elon, quick dish to Josh Yonatan. They're going to be a scary team. And number 1, obviously we have the green team. Ariel Nisanov, coach of the year, coach of the century. The green team. They won the chip. They talk a lot. Obviously, Nate Rafaelov sucks.
Had to say.
But I don't know what it is about the green team, and they say they suck. But the second they lose a game, they all of a sudden get really nervous and start talking big. We'll take that with grace. But the bottom line is they have a coach, and I will say this: I don't think green is that good of a team. I think maybe like a 5, 6, 7 team. I think Ariel Nisanov coached them, got the best out of every single player. Johnny Yakimov balled out last year. And also shout out to the green team. I mean, to listen to a coach is not easy. You know, we all like to coach our teams. To listen to a coach, be able to do what the coach says, I think is a great.
No, but also I'm saying the compliment goes both ways. My guys also they swallow a lot of them.
That's what I'm saying.
They
listen to the
swallow
coach,
their pride. They, you know, a kid like Daniel Supov won the championship before. A guy like Aviad Gorov has a very high IQ. A guy like Ney Rafaelov wants to give me the ball, get out of the way. So a lot of them had to adjust in order to fit the system. So
the question is though that can they do it again? That's the question. Everyone's saying. A lot of people are saying they're one and done. You know,
I'm going to
it was
give a
a
very
fluke.
interesting statistic. Yellow, when they won, they did not come out swinging to start the season. They did not, because in the back of their mind, they say, listen, as long as we get in, we can turn it on whenever we feel like it. Last year, White struggled in the beginning of the season. They started off, I think, 2-4 or 1-3.
Right.
And then they turned it on. They made the playoffs. But you kind of sometimes have that, you know, we won. We'll figure it out when we need to figure it out. So that's something to see about Green. Obviously, Ari's here. I wish you the best of luck with that.
Shout out to our sponsor, Watch King. Thank you, Moshe Chaimov. I'm probably sitting in your seat. I don't know which seat you usually sit in. But
anyways, guys, listen, we love to hear your feedback. Obviously, these are my way too early power rankings. We love to hear your feedback. Email us at richierich@gmail.com for all your questions, for all the disagreements you think, for anyone you think, you know,
reach out to your captain.
Higher or lower. Please do not reach out to your captain. Reach out to richierich@gmail.com. Thank you very much.